A gas sold in corner stores and smoke shops across the country can have deadly consequences. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. These brightly colored tanks contain nitrous oxide. The product is marketed as an ingredient for whipped cream, but often inhaled, earning the nickname Whippets. Nitrous oxide, also known as laughing gas, is a sedative, and in addition to a high, users can experience numbness, confusion, uncontrollable movement, and loss of consciousness. The death of a St. Louis woman sparked a legal battle over whether the companies that sell nitrous oxide should be held accountable when misuse creates consequences.
Reporter Rob Krieger shows us how easy access to the drug could be putting lives in danger and how it's already changed a family's life forever.
She was just always so goofy and happy, and and some days I just feel lost without her.
Marissa Poit was the glue of her family.
Very easy and outgoing all the time, always in a good mood, always happy.
She had a very infectious laugh. When she was in the room, you knew by that laugh.
Her family says she was a bright student, played saxophone in the band, and eventually entered the medical field, working as a radiology tech at Total Access Urgent Care in Baldwin, Missouri, a suburb of St. Louis. It was October 18th, 2020. As Marissa walked out of work just steps away from the front door, Trenton Geiger was driving his parents' Honda Pilot nearby. Only a few minutes later, he was here, the Coughing Cardinal, a smoke and vape shop in the St. Louis suburbs. It's where Geiger bought 24 cartridges of nitrous oxide, then got behind the wheel and started inhaling. Geiger drove northbound on Clarkson Road. As he approached the intersection, he inhaled a whippet and passed out behind the wheel. His vehicle began to veer across a hard concrete median, 2 lanes of traffic, another curb, through a light pole, before slamming into Marissa Poit.
You're not in trouble with us at all, man. We just need to make sure you're okay physically, okay? Try to take a deep breath.
Definitely
What's
in
your name?
shock. Trent.
Okay.
In the moments after the crash, Geiger received medical treatment inside the same place where Marissa had cared for so many others.
Are you able to tell me how she is?
She's in critical condition.
As the weight of the reality of his decision sank in, Marissa's family scrambled into the dreary night to Mercy Hospital, the closest trauma center to the crash.
And they told me that she wasn't going to make it.
Rushing to her bedside, Marissa's parents only had minutes with their daughter before she drew her final breath.
It's hard to see somebody in that condition and to know everything that had happened.
Are you with him? All right, don't let him leave. There's a witness that's on him. Throw some whippet bottles, like air duster. I'll be car out back after he left.
Geiger later admitted he ditched the nitrous after the crash, attempting to hide the fact he was inhaling whippets while driving. Police documented that evidence, tossed into the woods nearby green Whippet brand nitrous oxide chargers, but only found about half of the 24 cartridges he bought at this vape shop a few minutes before the crash.
How is it legal to sell this stuff at head shops?
Attorney Johnny Simon with the St. Louis-based Simon Law Firm represented Karen and Jason in a civil trial against the head shop that sold the nitrous, Geiger, and United Brands, the company manufacturing and selling nitrous oxide under various labels, including Whippet brand, across the country.
There is no better evidence than their own emails, showing that they know it's being used a certain way and proceeding to continue with those sales.
In an email correspondence between United Brands account executive Nick Sweden and a retailer, the retailer writes, "I'm pumped about this. We think we can make a lot of money selling your products, which means you will make a lot of money too. I also wanted to get pricing for your nitrous as well. Given our customer base, I'm sure we could move a F-ton of those as well. So please send us some pricing numbers on that also." 10 minutes later, Sweden writes back, attaching the pricing for United Brands nitrous, and then this disclaimer: please ensure that both butane and cream chargers are used properly and legally. The next day, the retailer writes back, "Thanks for the pricing, Nick. I'll run everything by the owner. And yeah, man, we know the deal. We put a disclaimer on all our hydroponic equipment in our store. This product is not intended for any illicit purposes. Not that anybody is
Growing tomatoes with the stuff, right?
Simon argues United Brands targeted retailers just like this, presenting taped deposition from a former employee who explained 75% of United Brands sales nationwide were to obvious head shops and smoke shops.
I mean, that tells me that they have a business and it surely isn't gourmet whipped cream.
In the suit, Simon points out the staggering differences in quantities of nitrous oxide sold by United Brands, including to a coffee company in St. Louis, a business with a practical purpose for whipped cream. In 7 years, the coffee company purchased 51,724 nitrous oxide chargers. In those same 7 years, United Brands sold a head shop 1.3 million chargers. In 2 years, another coffee shop bought 4,000 chargers. In just 12 months, the Coughing Cardinal bought 40,000.
We supply to retail stores for the purpose of using it as a food additive to make whipped cream and drinks and so forth, not for any illicit use.
Jurors heard United Brands' responses to Simon's arguments through video deposition of CEO Nasir Zaria. It was recorded last summer for Marissa Poit's wrongful death case against the company, nearly 3 years after she was killed. And yet Simon says some of the answers from the CEO left him stunned.
Your counsel receives this information more than a year prior to Marissa Poit's death.
Prior to who?
Do you know who Marissa Poit is?
No, sir.
Mr. Zaharia, you don't know who Marissa Poit is?
No, I don't.
No one's ever told you that?
No.
Marissa's parents say it's clear United Brands and the companies selling nitrous oxide in smoke shops have one priority.
It's all about the money. They don't care about people.
They were absolutely putting profit above people. And they still are today.
But I do know you can't get the balloons that you need for this at Walmart.
Simon says nitrous manufacturers still target smoke shops across the country in overwhelming numbers, making hundreds of millions of dollars a year, while nitrous addicts enjoy easy access to the gas, putting innocent lives like Marissa's at risk.
Marissa's life was taken that night. She will never be married. She will never have a child. She will never be able to be an aunt to her niece and nephews. It's not about the money. I would give my last breath for her to be here.
In September 2023, Marissa's family won their wrongful death lawsuit against United Brands, Coughing Cardinal, and Trenton Geiger. A jury awarded the family $745 million. In his criminal case, Geiger pleaded guilty to second-degree involuntary manslaughter. He's serving a 6-year sentence.
Doctors say inhaling nitrous oxide can deplete the body of vitamin B12.
There can be all kind of nervous damage, cerebral damage, cardiovascular implications.
The body needs B12 to nourish the nervous system. As the gas inactivates the essential nutrient, it depletes a supply that could last for years in just a fraction of the time.
People look like they've had spinal cord injuries and difficulty walking, to the point where people sometimes become bedbound.
Data from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration shows nitrous oxide is the most widely used inhalant. Unlike other illicit drugs, SAMHSA says children 12 to 17 use inhalants more than any other age group.